It seems that Shurek blamed himself for that cake incident. Oh shit, he's hallucinating. Haha, how are you doing? The sun's so bright today. I looked up into the sky, shielding my eyes with my palm. Yeah, nothing special. It wasn't easy to get a better look at the pioneer. Given the way he stood, the bright sunlight that reflected from the water and shiny metal surfaces of the washstands heavily obscured his face, and I wasn't able to distinguish any single feature. The camp leader is angry today. So angry. His voice sounded painfully familiar, too. Well, she's always like that. Haha, well, you'd know better, yeah? I tried to remember if I've ever heard this voice or seen this pioneer before. Huh. See ya. He turned the water off and quickly marched towards the forest path. For a second, I thought of following him, stopping him, but I quickly fought it off as I decided that it's not worth spoiling such a great morning with suspicions and burdensome speculations. Nature was glowing with the bright light of life. Lush treetops were rhythmically swaying in the wind, whispering to each other. The breeze gently stroked the high emerald grass. Birds were cooing in the shade, escaping the midday heat. The woods and fields stretching beneath the horizon were dissolving in warm sunlight. I don't know which month it is now, but it looks like midsummer. I distinctly remembered the summer vacations of my childhood and youth, times of fun leisure and carefree joy. Childhood games, how many there were. I wouldn't say no to playing war games or hide and seek now, or swinging on a bungee. Maybe building a sandcastle and inhabiting it with toy soldiers ready to defend their master to the last drop of their plastic blood. I went to the square and sat on the bench, waiting for lunch. It looked like there wasn't much time left before it. From time to time, pioneers passed by me, sometimes alone, sometimes in pairs of groups of 3. But always someone I didn't know. Alyssa, Alyana, Lena, or Slavia were nowhere to be seen. Thoughts about the meaninglessness of existence were circling in my brain, but this didn't worry me on such a beautiful day. Just think about it. Who could think of grieving for this life lived in vain or lost early while basking in the rays of such a friendly sun? Certainly not me. I looked upon Genda. I don't know his name. He was meditating, as always. Now he definitely never gets any unnecessary doubts. I remember my first hours in this camp and the day before, the anguish, the anxiety, and fear. That all seems so far away now, although so little time has passed. Will I get out of here or not? It didn't concern me as much as before. Maybe I'm already dead. Then this is the last stop. Please get off the train. Ha! What are you thinking about? I looked up and saw that pioneer I'd seen before. I couldn't see his face again, as the sun was shining in my eyes. You know, life. It seemed he would sit down next to me, but the pioneer stayed in the same place, only half turned, which completely killed any hope of seeing his face. Listen, have we met earlier? I think I remember you. Well, let's just say, you know who I am. But I don't. I laughed sincerely. Here, you don't. He answered short. I see. Honesty, it's not like I didn't want to talk. I just didn't know what to talk about. And my soul was so calm, this didn't bother me. Your first time here? He asked a question, but his tone implied he was only expecting a confirmation. Yes. And you? Me? He paused for a few seconds. Nah, it's not my first time here. One might say that I visited this camp every year since my early childhood. Such an answer got me interested. Well, and what was it like before? It's always the same. Olga Dimitrievna being the camp leader, all the same pioneers around, all the same lineups in the morning, and all these wicked accidents. For a moment, I thought it was me speaking, not him. Interesting. It's just that, with everything new, he hesitated. Year. More and more interesting things happen and one gets to understand better what's going on. What are you talking about? This conversation positively triggered my curiosity. It's a pity that I can't distinguish the face of this pioneer at all. Well, every session in the pioneer camp reminds me of the previous one, he said calmly. Probably. This is my first. It shows. The pioneer grinned. But it looks like it won't be the last. Well, it's fun here and all, but you know how they say there's no place like home. But you still have to get back there, don't you? Now I was absolutely sure that this guy was hiding something from me. To be precise, he stood out too much from the camp's usual ordinariness and was too different from the local inhabitants. What do you mean? You think I'm stuck here forever or something? I said, enunciating every word. The pioneer had no time to answer as the lunch bell sounded. I turned my head towards the loudspeaker, and by the time I looked back, the guy was already gone. Thousands of theories and speculations instantly appeared in my head, but I stopped myself, remembering all the apparent normality of this camp. Yeah, he's definitely hallucinating. After all, nothing supernatural has happened in these 5 days. Moreover, everything here seems too natural, sometimes even boring. Maybe this pioneer didn't mean anything by that, and I just misunderstood him? Thinking that, I went to the canteen, intending to feast. Sometimes it seemed to me that lunch here is akin to the crowds around the soup kitchens during a famine. Pioneers were running around, pushing each other, trying to crawl through for the first meal and take the most comfortable table. I was calmly standing and patiently waiting for the cook to get me my assigned food rations. For lunch today, we had okroshka, which I didn't really like, and cutlets with potatoes. Okroshka is a traditional Russian cold soup. Well, considering it's Russian, aren't like most Russian things cold anyway. Because I can see how it would be hard to keep soup warm. But I can also see how warm soup would be preferable in a cold place. Moving on. I sat in a corner and mentally rejoiced that I will be able to eat in peace. My table was the farthest from the kitchen. I could reasonably hope that the pioneers who were looking for a free place wouldn't reach it. Or would reach it last. However, when I moved on to the main course, Slavia, Shuruk, and Electronic appeared from the crowd. Ah, my blonde trio. Can... wait. Can we? I had nothing against their company. Of course. Lunch was going surprisingly calmly. Even Electronic wasn't jabbering as he usually does. I finally finished the meal, sprawling in my chair and satisfied, clicked my tongue. Listen, do you know this pioneer? I saw him today. You know, he's so... I suddenly realized that I don't really know how to describe him. Well, about my height, same constitution. Hard to say from that description. Slavia smiled. Ah, well, we have half a camp of such guys, if it comes to that. All in all, they were right. Why are you asking? It's just that I met him today, and it seemed like I haven't seen him here before. Look in the canteen! I don't think he'll miss lunch. Why didn't I think of that? That's it! Okay, guys, enjoy your meal. I got up and started to slowly walk along the rows of tables. Lena and Zeno are sitting over there. I gave them a friendly smile. Alyssa and Ilyana are laughing and arguing about something. Olga Dimitrievna, surrounded by pioneers. Good thing she didn't notice me. There are hardly any free seats, but the guy from this morning is nowhere to be seen. The situation is getting more and more interesting. Looks like I won't find him here. Maybe he already had lunch. I headed to the exit. It was so hot outside that it seemed like you would instantly melt after coming out of the shade. Excuse me, I need some water. Hold on. I suddenly felt like sleeping. I yawned and headed to the camp leader's cabin in order to follow the domestic interpretation of the Archimedes principle. In the end, Olga Dimitrievna is unlikely to return anytime soon, at least I think so, and we'll definitely have a couple of hours to rest. Anyways, I really don't expect any other options to arise, especially in this heat. The heavenly coolness in the cabin became my salvation. I took my clothes off and jumped into bed. Crickets were lazily chirping outside, the wind was shaking the curtains on the window, and I sank into a dream. Knocking on the door woke me up. Where's my volume? The knocks were soft, but insistent. I reluctantly got up and went to open it. Strangely, there was nobody on the doorstep. I rubbed my eyes and stepped out to look around. All the same, no one was around. A dream, maybe? It was already 4 o'clock. I felt jaded. I probably shouldn't have slept in the afternoon. After all, I knew what was going to happen. I put on my boots, left the cabin, and locked the door. Where shall I go? All in all, there is not much time till dinner. A sudden thought came to me that it would be nice to refresh myself, so I went towards the beach. Sorry, not having a good day. The sun has passed the midday mark a while ago. It gets dark early here in the south. I squinted and looked up at the flaming disk. Who was that just now? I flinched. The same mysterious guy was standing in front of me. and once again his face was hard to see due to the bright light. For a moment the sun blinded me so I could not see anything besides the faint contours of objects. Are you stalking me? Who are you?